Hey everybody, welcome back to Friday Night Magic here at GameSwap Mason, brought to you by Top Deck Productions. I'm Connor Sloan, filling in for Zach Creamer, who had to skedaddle off to work here for this last round of Modern here. With me is Brianna Fryman, who you've been speaking with all night.
Hello.
And we actually had every single match decide to split the last round here. So we have a volunteer match here. Erik Baldus on Humans and Jacob Spangler on Eldrazi Tron. Good stuff. This is a good match.
I'm excited.
This is a really interesting matchup. Eldrazi Tron was one of the decks in mind when the first Humans deck really took a foothold at an open about a year and a half ago or so. This was a matchup that was really in mind for the Humans deck. Now it's become definitely more refined over the amount of time that's passed, but this is definitely going to be a really good match in my opinion. It looks like we're going to see a mulligan out of Erik over here. Jacob looks like he's thinking, but that looks like a good hand to me. I'm seeing at least 3 Tron lands in there. I don't know if they match or not, but that's looking good to me.
As long as they're not all the same one, I think he's good.
Yeah, if you got two unique ones and one repetitive one, that's probably fine. We're both Tron players here, so we know what's going on.
I'm just excited to see it because I've played this matchup personally many times as an Eldrazi Tron player, and I would like to see how someone else would do it.
And Jacob really knows what he's doing here too. He's no stranger to this deck or this matchup. So turn 1, we have a Cavern, almost assuredly naming Humans, and a Champion of the Parish. The best turn 1 play in the deck.
Yep.
Except for maybe Aether Vial.
That's true.
It's a tough call. Turn 1 map Tower. Pretty standard turn 1 play, and here we have a Kitesail Freebooter. Let's see what's going on in Jacob's hand here. We got not natural Tron, we got at least one duplicate, some creatures, and a removal spell. That's the only it's the only legal target in the hand.
But so, I mean, that's pretty good to take, though.
We'll take it. We got a trigger on Champion, and we're running in for 2. So Jacob's going to go down to 18. Let's see what Jacob's got going on here. Now, yeah, so we've got the reality or the Matter Reshaper here. Good play. It's gonna block off that Champion of the Parish moving forward at least once. It's gonna make Erik hold back until that thing is at least a 4 toughness creature before he can attack profitably into it. Because if Jacob gets to trade for the Champion of the Parish, he gets that sweet Matter Reshaper trigger. He's going to get either a card in hand or a permanent. Ooh, there we go. Mantis Rider. Another solid card.
Aw, man.
And now we've got a Flying Clock, so Jacob can just ignore the Reshaper.
Man, I really
not what we want.
Hate as Eldrazi Tron playing when the Mantis Rider comes down. That is not a fun time for me.
Now, we do have to analyze clocks here. Jacob has a Reality Smasher in his hand that he can play next turn.
He does.
With a second Eldrazi Temple.
But you have to get the temple.
He does have the temple, though.
He does?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe we saw a temple in his hand. Nope.
No, that's Cavern.
I'm just crazy. That's a Cavern. So.
But we have a power plant.
Yeah.
So
he gets to run out the power plant.
And then just pop the map next turn.
Exactly. Run out the power plant. He gets 1 more turn of block. He's going to take 4 in the air, most likely. Oh, he's going to do it on main step.
Why?
I don't really think there's a reason to play it on the main step, but there may not also be. There may be a reason. There may be no reason not to.
I mean, yeah. If you're not going to do anything else with the mana, why not?
Yeah.
But that also tells your opponent that you're not doing anything else with it either.
Yeah, Erik does not have perfect information at this point in the game. There have been a few draw steps since that. Well, now he's got perfect information. Just to make my words here. There's a Reality Smasher. This hand is not looking good for Jacob. He just keeps drawing lands. No gas coming down the tube. He really needs to see an All Is Dust or a Walking Ballista here very soon. Next turn off the top, one of those would be a blowout. Yeah, so there's that. We're going to block here and get a trigger. Let's see what we get. Spin the wheel. A map.
Woo!
Not doing it. But it's a map that he's not going to draw.
Yeah.
And there's a Spatial Contortion. Spatial Contortion is very interesting. Spatial Contortion can get back his other Spatial Contortion.
Yes, it can.
He can kill a flying attacker, get the Spatial Contortion back off of that, and then kill the Mantis Rider.
And then be
which reduces the clock a lot. Yeah, it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. Good play. Good line. I like it.
Oh, nice. There it is.
There's that. And we still have Reality Smasher mana, so he's going to play it, and I really hope he doesn't swing. No!
No!
Bad. We got a 5 power attacker on the ground here. You really need to block that, don't you think? It's going to be 6 power.
I think so.
Oh, there's a Thalia. Thalia's not doing it. Yeah, there's a 6 power. 7 power with 2 Exalted triggers.
He's so dead.
He's not dead.
He's not?
That's 9 damage right there.
Oh, I thought he...
He's going to go to a pretty 1.
I forgot about the side. I thought he could attack.
He could, but he wouldn't get the Exalted triggers.
Oh, that's true.
So what he needs to do is crack his map during his upkeep so that he makes his draws better. Nope. Not going to get there. Not going to do it. Eric's going to take 4 off the trample, but he's not going to get there. He's got a clutch full of lands and a Reflector Mage just to add insult to injury.
Oh, rest in peace.
Land. Oh, yeah, we just looked at some lands coming out. Yeah, I would have in this scenario, since you are definitely going to have enough mana to cast all of those if you draw it.
Yeah.
Then your deck out with the map beforehand.
Yeah.
And then try and go for it.
But he didn't, unfortunately.
It's okay. It's no guarantee that it would work. That's an Emrakul
in the
Aeon's
side.
Torn in the side. That's very interesting. That's an Ugin in the side and Chalices in the side instead of the main. That's not something we see very often.
Well, I don't know if I like that personally. That
and Surgicals, I'm not a big fan of Surgicals. In the
oh, they have the other
right
Emrakul
now.
as well in the side.
Yeah,
both
that's
Emrakuls.
That's a lot of hot spice here. The Ugin's definitely good. I did never play it in the main deck. I don't dislike it in the side deck of Eldrazi Tron. And your normal mono green or green X-Tron is a house. You gotta play them. You gotta play them.
See, I run Promised End main deck in my Tron, and it's worked out very well against humans, especially with a Batter Skull attached to it.
Oh yeah, flying blockers are big in this matchup, and jamming a Batter Skull onto a Emrakul, the Promised End, is pretty good.
You think?
Yeah.
I just saw
Vigilance,
a
lifelink,
World Breaker.
There's no way. I think you saw an Endbringer.
I might have saw an Endbringer.
Endbringer's pretty good in this matchup as well.
Endbringer is wonderful in this
Once
matchup.
it comes online, there's really no removal in Eric's deck except for Reflector Mage, so once that Endbringer comes online, you get to lock their biggest creature out of combat or kill something. Or
so hopefully, if Jacob's lucky, Eric won't land a Vial because he did bring in a D-Sphere, a Dampening Sphere. So if Jacob's lucky, Eric will not land the Vial and will be slowed down because of it.
Did Jacob bring in a D-Sphere?
Eric brought in
Eric
a
brought in a
D-Sphere.
D-Sphere.
So if Eric does not land a Vial, he's going to be paying for that.
And if I'm in
D-Sphere.
Jacob's seat and Eric turn 2's the D-Sphere, I'm feeling great.
Right?
That means that there's just no humans coming down on turn 2. 2-mana humans are the bread and butter of this deck.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just not playing one on turn 2 because you think you're going to gain advantage off of a Damping Sphere, but it's not good enough.
See, as Eldrazi Tron, I love Dampening Sphere. I've been testing it on my own side against the mirror match between other Trons because out of all of us, I consider us the most fair.
Yeah,
we can actually play on
Damping
curve.
Sphere has real minimal effectiveness against Eldrazi Tron just due to the nature of how low to the ground it is compared to the other Tron decks.
Exactly. So I think, personally, this might actually get better as long as Eric does not land the Vial. The Vial will be a
While
problem.
we're waiting on some cutting and stuff, I'm just going to take this moment to remind everybody that we have a PPTQ tomorrow, September 1st, starting at 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. I think it's
1:30.
1:30 p.m. Followed the following weekend by the Luke Browning charity event. Come on down and play some Team Constructed here at GameSwap Mason on September the 8th.
Oh, yeah, 1:30.
Yeah, 1:30 for that PPTQ tomorrow. Yeah, deck registration tomorrow is going to start at 1 p.m. So if you are in town and you're not already queued, come on down and check it out. Myself and your favorite Zach Kramer are both going to be commentating that tomorrow. We're going to have a good time for you.
And in response to Lockhart in the chat, this one may not be as low to the ground since they do have both Emrakuls in the side, but most other Eldrazi Trons don't.
Yeah, the both Emrakuls in the side is kind of crazy, honestly.
It's also kind of rare for them to have any Emrakuls, honestly.
Yeah. I think that's kind of crazy. I wouldn't do that in a million years. Play any number of Emrakul in Eldrazi Tron specifically. The whole deck operates much lower to the ground, just in general. I don't mean that the whole curve is low. Like, in general, compared to its green Tron, compatriot there. Like, we're trying to play, a minimum of 6 mana spells usually. These guys are playing 3 and
one Ulamog. It's normally just one Ulamog, no Emeralds. That's your highest one is the single Ulamog.
Exactly. Green Tron likes to play double Ulamog, which is great. Some people even play 3. But Eldrazi Tron generally just plays 1 as a curve topper. They play 2 to 3 all as dusts for tempo. Everything else is, you know, just creatures. Because like here we've got.
Ooh, that foil waste though.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. That's the good art too. The time. No, so the team constructed format is a lot of people call it team trios. We have a legacy player, a modern player, and a standard player.
So this is.
I don't know what time the tournament starts.
Oh, Reflector
Mage. We can check on that.
Good.
But your team consists of a legacy player, a modern player, and a standard player. And it's just normal team. You know, you have an A, B, and C player, and you play versus another team. The A player playing each other, etc. down the line, and it's a best 2 of 3. So if 2 players win, then that team wins.
So looking at the game, Jacob has Emrakul Aeon's Torn, I believe, in his hand, but it's not really looking that good right now.
I'm not
since Humans has populated quite well.
I'm not a big fan of the Sanctum of Ugin either, because you don't have enough 7 mana spells.
You really don't.
You just have Allah's Dust and the 1 Ulamog that you should be playing.
And I honestly don't understand the Ugin either. I'm gonna ask him about that later.
The Ugin is. I think the Ugin is okay. The Ugin doesn't seem that bad. I actually used to play 1 in the main deck. And the sideboard seems like a good spot for it.
I don't see the need for it right now. The way things are, it's not been very helpful. I'm sure.
I thought it was interesting playing the main deck Spatial Contortions. What I assume is instead of Dismembers.
Which I like.
I'm getting a little bit less and less favorable on Dismember as time goes on. I think Dismembers getting a little bit worse the longer we look at the format. I think the Spatial Contortion's great. It kills most things. We do know for a fact both the tournaments, the PPTQ and the Team Constructed Charity Tournament, those are both at 1:30 p.m.
I don't like that he kept the hand with the Sanctum of Ugin and the Mine.
The hand's not terrible. I mean, he had an on-curve play with the dude.
Yeah, but
and to be frank,
only like, 1 Tron land though, and
Eric's
the Sanctum
first
of
couple
Ugin.
turns were a little on the slow side.
They were, but now that he's populated the board, it's not looking
there is
great.
What's that? That's a Meddling Mage.
Probably on all his dust.
Probably on all. Can we just confirm what the Meddling Mage named? Yes. Eric knows his stuff. I'm sure he named all his dust.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes, they will both be streamed. Zach Kramer and myself will be doing commentary for the PPTQ.
So it's
but you're gonna have to get used to some new voices for the Team Constructed. Mike Farrell, Zach Kramer, and myself will be in Detroit for the Team Unified Modern Grand Prix the weekend of the charity tournament. Unfortunately,
landing a thought.
I'd love to play in it, and I'd love to stream it.
I mean, you know it's my hand.
But unfortunately, we just don't have the ability.
Leaves the battlefield, so I will draw a card and then your.
Ooh, that's pretty.
All right, so we got a Reflector Mage coming out of Eric. Gonna bounce that Thought Knot, and Eric gets to draw a card.
Well, that's exciting because that means he'll get to play the Thought Knot again later.
Take another card. I think that's better for Jacob than it is for Eric, but Eric wants to get that damage in.
But Eric's also gonna have an empty hand if he plays another creature.
Are we still at 20s?
Yep. I think so. Yeah.
Is our life total still 20?
Both die are at 20 as well.
Yeah, both dies are at 20. A lot of times people forget about it. I guess this is the first time that Eric's actually been able to crack in. We've had just sufficient tempo coming out of Jacob's hand each time.
I'm very curious about. Yeah, I'm very curious how many Sanctum of Ugins he's running.
I don't even play 2 in mono Green Tron.
I think 1 should be enough.
I don't
honestly
think you should play any in Eldrazi. There's just not.
Well,
enough
I mean, like
hits.
in mono Green Tron at the least.
Yeah, for sure.
1 should be enough.
There's just not enough hits.
So now we've got a power plant in his hand.
So we're getting closer and closer to all his dust coming down. Unless the Meddling Mage named it, which we don't know for sure yet. Okay, yeah, it did. Yeah, no worries. So that all his dust is sitting not great. The Thought Knot should definitely buy Jacob some time here. I think he can buy himself at least a turn.
Well, he probably won't be able to. Oh.
Ooh, there's a land. So if Jacob somehow can stabilize here, like a Walking Ballista would be sweet.
I mean, as long as nothing's in the air, Jacob can at the very least block.
Yeah, we don't have any flyers yet. Oh, there's a Selfless Spirit.
Oh
That's
my.
interesting. I don't know why they'd bring it in. There's no O-stones here.
Some.
It doesn't actually protect from any of the interaction.
In my experience,
Jacob's
not
except
everybody
for just the
knows that
attack.
O-stone is not in Eldrazi Tron.
That's fair.
Just like not everybody knows that they cut No Pants Karn.
Right, right. I think they should still play No Pants Karn. I mean, Pants Karn.
Yeah, a
Nope.
lot of them play Pants Karn.
Over
Very
no
few play No Pants.
Over No Pants Karn. And it looks like Jacob's going to scoop it up. Eric's going to take this game 2-0. Thanks a bunch to Eric and Jacob for playing out this last round, even though they split. They're both going to go home with a little bit of store credit and a little bit less time.
Yep.
But it's Friday. Who cares? Thank you, everybody, for watching. Be sure to check us out tomorrow afternoon, starting at 1:30. Modern PPTQ here at GameSwap in Mason, Ohio, brought to you by Top Deck Productions. What are we doing here? Let's take a look at these sideboards as they come out. Surgicals. Surgical extraction against humans.
And he brought... Well, actually, if you can get the Meddling Mage off the first time,
Daniel,
you can take
what do
it
you think
out.
about that? No?
Loose.
Loose?
That's loose.
Loose? Surgical extraction versus humans?
Very loose.
That's very loose. I agree.
I don't like it, but honestly, I do understand it. If he's trying to get rid of that Meddling Mage quickly, because that can stop you from your big threats.
Definitely can.
He brought in 2 Worm Coil engines, though. 2 Worm Coils.
They're not in the main. Oh man, I don't know what's going on.
2 Worm Coil engines and an Ugin.
I don't know what's going on. Jacob's deck's all over.
Oh, you're right. That's an Embringer, not a World Breaker. It looked like a World Breaker.
It's because you don't have that art.
You're right. I have the prettier one.
Yeah, I agree. I have the prettier one too.
But it looked like a World Breaker at first glance. I was very worried. So I was like, where's the green coming in, buddy?
Who knows? Who knows?
Where's that coming from?
Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. Be sure to check us out tomorrow, like I said. Peace.